Good afternoon. I'm John Bednarski. This is my wife Sylvia. We're located in Oldham County. We also have a farm in Henry County. Our farm name is Sherwood Acres. We purchased this land in 2000, and I like the piece of land because I grew up in Vermont where it's very hilly, wooded, and didn't see a lot of that in this area until we ran across this piece of property. We started with 35 acres. There was no pond here, there was no fencing, no home. In 2003, Sylvia, my wife, and my two children, Kristen and Kyle, said, we're going for a ride.
And so we ended up taking him up to Indiana to see a farm that had a bunch of belted Galloway. And we wanted to buy 3 younger belted Galloway heifers for him at that point in time.
And we brought them home a few days later. And what started as a herd of 3 has now developed into a beef business with about 50 head of belted Galloway steers. It typically takes us about 20 to 24 months to raise them to a size where we would process them through a local processing facility. And we make about 22 to 23 different cuts of beef for the local market. And it just really gives great pleasure in knowing that we're raising these animals right here locally and we're feeding local people. We use a rotational grazing system on the farm. Because we have limited acreage, we're unable to change cattle daily or weekly, and so we usually keep our cattle on pasture for about 28 days before moving them to another fresh pasture. We have to travel around the farm with utility vehicles to feed on a daily basis. With that, you create impact on the soil, which is going to, in fact, create erosion. And so we've built some roads within the farm to limit that impact and protect the soils that we have on the farm. It's all we have, and we have to take care of it. We enrolled in the CRP Conservation Reserve Program in 2005 because I felt it was very important with our proximity to Harrods Creek. We planted about 400 trees along Harrods Creek between our fencing where our cattle are and the creek, again to protect from erosion. We've set our fences back the required distance in order to protect from any type of animal waste or any type of runoff that could go into the creek. And whether those areas are grassy areas or CRP areas, we constantly keep an eye on that and are maintaining those so that we can be good stewards of the land. About 20% of the farm, maybe 25%, is covered with wooded areas. We met early on with the wildlife department from Kentucky and asked them to come out and kind of map out a plan for us in terms of being able to keep wildlife here. With housing developments growing around us, it was important for us to be able to enjoy wildlife on a daily basis. It's not uncommon to see 30 to 40 turkeys out in the field, wild turkeys. Come down in the evening sometimes and seen as many as 15 or 20 deer. It's just enjoyable to be able to be with wildlife and see that they're flourishing here on the farm. With the shallow stream crossing this way, we'll only come across the creek a few times a year so that we're not interrupting the blue heron and the wood ducks that we see, the beavers that we see on the creek.
There's plenty of tadpoles, which shows you've got a good creek going on. All kinds of wildlife down here. There's a beaver and a beaver dam on down the creek.
Our farm had about 6 or 7 acres on the other side of Harrods Creek that was very valuable pasture land once we cleared it. And in order to get across there, we needed a method to do that. I met with our conservation district person, and he came out and showed me what I needed to do, and that was a great part of it because I really didn't know how to build such a thing and build it right. Back behind me here is a compost pile that comes from our winter feed area. Every spring of the year we scrape off that feed area because we want to save that compost, that manure, that hay, and put it back on our fields at a later date. We have automatic watering systems really on both of our farms. They were cost share programs that we installed over time. We've run city water from a water meter through our fields. You know, we don't have a large farm operation. We have about 150 acres between the 2 farms, but everybody plays a significant role. And initially I thought that we were too small to even matter. We visited farms out west that were 10,000 acres. And because of our location and our proximity to a metropolitan area, we play a very, very large role in what's happening on the conservation side. Whether it's the waters, whether it's the air, anything in the environment, we play a big role on our farm. And it's important to me and my wife to do the right thing and to carry on in the manner that really should be for everyone.